Have you ever felt like you are the hardest working person in the room, but somehow you're also the most overlooked? It's that super frustrating feeling when your best work just seems to vanish into thin air, while maybe some louder colleagues get all the credit. If that sounds even a little bit familiar, you are in exactly the right place. We're about to build a whole new, intentional strategy for your career.
Seriously, it's such a frustrating spot to be in. You know you're delivering amazing work. You're always going that extra mile, but the recognition, the promotions, they just don't seem to follow. I want you to know you are not alone in this, and it is absolutely not a personal failing. It's actually a symptom of a really common workplace trend that now, finally, has a name.
Okay, let's talk about this term, ghost growth. The Every Girl really nailed it here. They define it as that slow creep of getting more and more responsibility, but without the title or the pay to actually match it. And this isn't just unfair, you know? It actively holds you back. It just slowly drains your energy and puts your career on pause. So how do you fight something that's so subtle? Well, the answer is simple, but it's not always easy. It's visibility.
So this is the crucial mindset shift right here. We're moving away from this old idea that just doing good work is going to be enough. And let me be really clear, this is not about faking it till you make it or trying to be some super loud extrovert. Nope, it's about adopting a smart, authentic strategy to make sure that the value you're creating is value that actually gets seen. And here's our game plan for how we're going to build that strategy together. First, we're going to unpack the invisibility trap that so many of us fall into. Then, we'll reframe visibility as a skill you can learn, not a personality you're born with. After that, we'll walk through 3 practical phases: building your foundation, leveraging your strengths, and taking strategic actions. And finally, we'll pull it all together into your very own visibility blueprint.
All right, let's kick things off by looking at why the old school way of thinking about our careers can honestly feel like a total dead end for so many of us today.
This slide just illustrates the problem perfectly, doesn't it? We were all taught to think of our careers like that ladder on the left. You just climb straight up, one rung at a time. But as Career Contessa points out, today's careers are much more like a jungle gym, right? You move sideways, you pivot, you swing over to new challenges. This whole new landscape demands agility. And here's the kicker. It requires you to be seen so people know where to find you on the playground.
So if the career path itself has totally changed, how do we adapt? Well, this brings us to what I think is the most important idea of this entire explainer. What if visibility isn't some innate personality trait? What if it's just a skill you can learn?
This quote from Career Contessa is everything. Soft skills are just about how you relate to other people. Think about it. You can learn to be a better communicator, right? A better teammate? And yes, you can absolutely learn to be more visible. This just takes all the pressure off of trying to be someone you're not and puts all the power right back in your hands.
And this visual just makes it even clearer. When you see visibility listed right there next to things like teamwork and problem solving, it stops being this big, scary, abstract thing. It's just another muscle you can develop for a successful career. It's a tool, not a temperament.
Okay, let's get super practical. Phase 1 is all about laying the groundwork. Because before you can make your work visible to anyone else, you have to be 100% clear on its value yourself.
Here are 2 really powerful habits to start building that foundation. First up, just like Career Contessa suggests, start documenting your humble brags. Now, this isn't about ego. It's about creating an undeniable log of evidence of your value. And second, start using daily affirmations, an awesome idea from the Good Trade. This literally helps rewire your brain to shift from a default setting of hiding to one of confident contributing.
Now for phase 2. This is all about working with your natural temperament, not fighting against it. If you tend to be more of a deep thinker or a really careful observer, those aren't weaknesses. Oh no, those are strengths we can totally leverage for visibility.
I really want this to sink in. Being thoughtful, being a deep thinker, or being a great listener, these are absolute superpowers in the modern workplace. They are not obstacles to visibility, they are just different paths to get there.
So how do you turn those incredible strengths into a real strategy? With knowledge. Just like Career Contessa highlights, arming yourself with expert strategies that are literally designed for your temperament is a game changer. Understanding the why behind your strengths gives you this unshakable, quiet confidence to navigate that career jungle gym like a pro.
All right, we've built the internal foundation, we've identified our strengths. Now it's time for phase 3, taking strategic actions that create the biggest impact with the smallest energy drain. It's all about working smarter, not louder.
Notice how none of these require a personality transplant. They just require a plan. First, taking a page from the good trade, level up your online presence. Your LinkedIn should basically be a living, breathing portfolio of your awesome work. Second, network smarter. Use Career Contessa's templates for powerful one-on-one connections instead of those draining networking mixers. And third, take just 10 minutes a week for a quarterly check-in. This small, consistent habit keeps you on track and prevents that big-time burnout.
Phew. Okay, we have covered a lot of ground. So let's boil all of this down into a super clear, concise blueprint that you can start using the second this explainer is over.
This is your takeaway right here. First, name the problem. Ghost growth is real, and it's a trap. Second, reframe your thinking. Visibility is just a skill you can learn. Third, build your foundation from the inside out with that evidence-based confidence. And finally, take action. Execute a smart, low-energy strategy that plays to your strengths and works for you, not against your nature.
And that brings us to the end, but it's really a beginning, isn't it? Just look back at those strategic actions we talked about. Will you spend 15 minutes this week updating your LinkedIn? Maybe draft one strategic email, or just schedule that 10-minute weekly check-in with yourself. The goal isn't to do everything all at once, but just to do something. So, what's it going to be? What's your first step?